Hi there, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming. My name's Adam Woolcott. I've actually been gardening since the age of 5. My dad built me a little wooden box, painted it white, filled it with soil. My mum bought me some freezer bulbs. I planted them, they grew, and that kind of got me hooked on gardening. I've run my own garden maintenance business since 1988, so yeah, I know I don't look that old. And that's been really great, really fun. One of my sort of proudest achievements is, along with my partner John, having won 4 gold medals at the Chelsea Flower Show over the years, as well as a couple of silver gilts and a couple of silvers, but I don't talk about them, and some BBC RHS People's Awards. So sort of gardening and sort of gardening tools and anything related to gardening has been sort of my passion, my hobby. It's kind of, yeah, it's what I do in my spare time. It pays the bills. It's kind of my sort of reason for being, really. And my initial kind of hookup with Webb happened quite a few years ago. I used to work for a shopping channel called Ideal World, which sadly is no longer with us, but that's another story. But yeah, I sort of came across or met Handy back then through Derek Belcher, and they started bringing some Webb tools all the way back then. I used to do some sort of gardening shows selling Webb on Ideal World. And then in sort of more recent years, I've sort of been communicating with Handy and Webb, and I've been sort of writing monthly blogs and vlogs about different sort of Webb tools and Webb products. And yeah, it's been fantastic. But what's sort of been really good for me is actually sort of, although I'm not saying these tools are to be used by professionals all day, every day like I am, but I've actually taken a lot of these tools to work, because one great thing that does happen is I get sent samples, which I'm allowed to keep, which is really nice. And I take them to work, and yeah, I've just kind of been sort of so impressed with the range of tools. And I think for me as well, what Webb have really kind of sort of encapsulated is all the different sort of demographics, because with sort of my experience over the years, I mean, I've had thousands and thousands of different customers of all different age groups. And it is really interesting, you know, how different generations will go towards, you know, one type of technology or another. And, you know, a lot of people are still very sort of hooked on their corded machines, and, you know, they love their corded machines. They like the fact they can plug it in. There's that constant sort of supply of energy. I find some sort of older generation, especially men, tend to quite like their petrol power of machines, especially with rollers and things like that, so they can get the stripes. And then I've got some younger customers, and you know, when I take them to the Webb Eco range, they're right into sort of cordless now, and they love all their sort of battery powered machines as well. So it's been sort of interesting to sort of work with Webb and sort of realise that they are catering for sort of a full demographic, but also different sizes of gardens and different situations in gardens. And I'll sort of walk you around. You know, I'll sort of talk you around all the different types of tools we've got here today that can be used for anything from line trimming to hedge trimming to chainsawing to vacuuming to chipping. So yeah, there's really kind of a huge range with Webb. And we're going to start off with the mowers. And I'm always really honest when I speak. And when I sort of first saw these some time back, these cylinder mowers, I actually remember my next door neighbour when I was about 7, back in the 70s, kind of using these. And I kind of was thinking, you know, who on earth's sort of going to sort of use those today? But I mean, I've been blown away by how popular these actually are, these machines. And when I've been going around to different customers, I work in quite a few different areas, I've actually seen a number of people using the Webb sort of cylinder mowers. And it's not surprising in one way, because they are the ultimate sort of green machine as well. You know, there's no emissions, there's almost no noise. And the only energy you need is the energy you're putting into using them. And of course, they've even sort of thought these days of the little elements in these as well. For example, a roller, so you can, you know, even it's a sort of a push cylinder, you've got that roller to give you that stripe effect on the lawn, which everybody loves. And you've got the sort of the rear collection box and the front collection box as well. And that's kind of things that sort of when you work in gardens all the time, that's a sort of nice thought through things that I like to see. Because if you've got quite a small garden and you've got flower borders all the way around the edge, if you've got a machine that's just got a box at the front, you can't always get that right to the edge of the lawn, because you're kind of pushing into the flowers and the flower bed. So to have one, you know, that's got a grass box at the back, that kind of counteracts that problem. So all those different options for different people and different positions. But then, you know, we come across to the corded machines. Fantastic range of corded machines here that, again, so many of my customers still use, still really enjoy. And I think for some people, they just like the idea of sort of plugging the machine into the wall. You've got that constant supply of energy, no need to worry about charging batteries or petrol mix and all that kind of thing. And it's just all the features that Webb put into their machines as well. I mean, for instance, just looking at this one here, they all come with this one lever height adjustment, which is really fantastic because no sort of faffing about lifting individual wheels or sets of wheels. You literally can just go from one to the other and sort of change that height really, really quickly. And, you know, things like that can be quite stressful. I've seen some sort of models of lawnmowers where you have to take the wheels off and then put them back on to sort of change the height, or it can be a real kerfuffle. This is nice and straightforward. Things like the quick release handles as well, which you can just undo and then clip back into place. So nice, easy storage on these, easy to get in the back of the car, storing one of those boxes at the side of your house, put away in the garage in the smallest space. And it's even sort of little details as well, like the little brushes at the side here, which, you know, if you've got grass growing up against sort of vertical surfaces, walls and places like that, you know, what it does, it helps to push that grass underneath. And I'm not to say it's going to get every single blade of grass, but it gets a lot closer and it gives you a lot neater finish than if it didn't have that little feature on the side. Other little features as well that might seem trivial, but I think they're just really sort of thoughtful. It's like the indicator here, the box indicator, just letting you know when that mower box is full or not. So, you know, while you're using this, that'll actually flap up and down. And then once that sits flat, you know the box is full up. Really, really straightforward. You've got the cable on here. I mean, generous lengths of cable on the mowers. There's various lengths on the different mowers, but really sort of in the region of sort of 8 to 10 meters of cable on these mowers. And it's the mesh as well. I like the mesh bags because sometimes with solid boxes, you don't always get the airflow to get all the grass to the back of the box. So the mesh bag for me is another feature that I love to see on a machine. And you've got other features on these mowers as well. For example, some of these you'll see in a moment have got sort of a mulching facility. So you can put a mulching plug into the back of the machine. And I always sort of talk about that in the way that you might have done the big long cut at the weekend. And then, I don't know, it's Wednesday evening, you've got people coming round, you want the lawn to look good again, but you haven't got time to sort of cut and collect and all that sort of thing. You pop the mulching plug in, you run up and down, and it just cuts the grass really fine, expels it back onto the lawn, and it doesn't just leave, you know, huge clumps of grass. It chops it finely, and you still get that pristine finish, but, you know, much, much more quickly. Of course, if you want, you can just cut with the flat down, as simple as that. I call that meadow cutting. So if you've just got a rough area of grass, you can do that. And then obviously, you know, there's the additional cut and collect as well that, you know, you can do to get that really, really smart finish. So, you know, that's all the fantastic features on the actual electric machines. Most of them come with warranties as well, fantastic warranties on these. But I mean, for me, my probably real passion is the petrol mowers. I use petrol mowers at work, especially for sort of taller areas of grass, for example. I just sort of like the power, the torque, the strength of petrol mowers. And it's the range as well. You know, Webb just don't kind of just shoehorn people into just sort of one type of lawnmower to fit all. The fact, you know, you've got sort of the little baby down there, if you like, coming through to this beast at the top here. Briggs and Stratton engines on these as well, which is fantastic to see. The first three here, I've got the Briggs and Stratton engines, 2-year warranty on those engines and a 3-year warranty on the actual machine itself as well. And again, this is just so packed with features. You've got that one lever height adjustment on the side there, which is really, really fantastic just to go all through those different heights, as simple as that. Nice sort of wide wheels. And I find that's a real benefit because this year, oh, goodness me, June, July was so wet and so rainy. You take a big beast like this onto a soft lawn with narrow wheels, you end up putting all those grooves and stuff in the grass, in the turf. These nice wide wheels really spread the weight and sort of, you know, they don't damage the turf. They still give you that really, really nice finish. And there's 4 ways of using these machines. So you've got the traditional cut and collect into the grass box here. And again, with a little indicator, which is fantastic. Mulching as well on this. There's the mulch facility on this as well. Mulching plug just goes in at the back there, just stops that grass being expelled straight away. And as I said earlier, chops it up really, really nice and fine before actually dropping it back down onto the lawn. You could, if you want to, just take the grass box off and just have the flap down, as simple as that. But also on here, there's side discharge. So you can just fit the little extra flap on the side there and then use that for side discharge. And then once you finish with that, that just drops down and it can go back to being a normal machine. So for me, just having those sort of 4 complete different ways of using this is really fantastic. And another little feature on here is the little port on the side. that you can actually attach a hose pipe to. So I know, again, from when I use machines at work, if you let the deck really clog up with grass and debris and all that kind of thing, it reduces the suction. The mower isn't so efficient. So while the blade is spinning around on this, literally just plug on there with your hose pipe, let the water swoosh round, and it will just clean that deck underneath and leave the bottom of the mower looking really clean and pristine. So I'll give you a little demo on this one. This one is a one-step start, and I forget that sometimes because I'm so used to doing more than one step. This is a one-step start. There we go. And I just love the way that, you know, that just sort of speeds along. I mean, it's not too fast, it's not too slow. That is a little bit too high on there, but again, you've got that simple kind of drop down there. So how low can I go? I'm going to go all the way down actually to see how far this will go down, because this grass is already quite short. So again, that nice easy start on this. So the great thing about this is with that swing tip blade system, I've actually written a few lawnmowers off over the years. I was saying to somebody yesterday, a couple of years ago, I remember mowing some quite long grass, and there was literally one of those really, really old-fashioned like irons in the grass that they used to put on top of the, you know, the half to warm up. I run the mower over that. It just totally sort of destroyed the prop shaft on the mower. The mower was a write-off. With this, you've got the give in those blades. So if you run over a stone, if you run over a brick, if you run over something you're not meant to, that is going to flick that blade out the way. It's not going to send that impact up through the mower and write your mower off, like, which happened with mine, because my blades were fixed and there was nowhere for the energy to go. So it just basically bent the prop shaft, and that was the end of the mower. It was finished. So yeah, you've got that fantastic swing tip blade system on some of these mowers. And I'll just again go over. I'm probably going to go up just, I'm going to keep it on that height. I'm just going to go again and then do the sort of the collection on this one. I don't know if anyone want to give this one a go, give it a try. It's it really is. It's such a simple machine to use. You can see you've got that super sharp cut there. It's that easy start as well, because everybody hates that thing where sometimes you're spending sort of 5-10 minutes trying to get a machine started and it just won't start. That's got that one sort of start system there. No need to worry about choke, no need to worry about sort of priming it and all that kind of thing. Just really straightforward. And you can see as well, the grass goes right into the back of the grass box there as well. So you've got that super suction on this. Just a really fantastic machine for those larger gardens. And as I say, if you've got an orchard area or a rough area that you're not particularly interested in keeping looking pristine, you've got the side discharge, or you can just sort of do the meadow cut as well. Yeah, even on this one, the electric one, you've got the rear roller as well. So, and we actually, we did some filming last year, and even though this doesn't look a particularly substantial roller, we went up and down on the lawn and it actually gave really fantastic stripes. So even, on sort of the electric machines, we're still putting the sort of features like the roller on there as well. You've got the one lever height adjustment there. How low are we on this one? I'm going to see how low we can. Let's go all the way down to, yeah, I'm going to try it there. It might be too low, but who cares? At least it's easy to change. So simply press the button to the side, pull, and off we go. Probably good. So again, brilliant power on that machine, easy and maneuverable, great for small gardens, great for small spaces. Again, let's look at the grass box. Good to see the grass, again, going right into the back of the grass box there as well. So you've got that really, really good collection on there with the mesh on the side. And then our little cylinder mower, which, put that grass box on properly. There we go. Which kind of takes me right back to the 70s. Your sort of ultimate green machine, really. All the energy is required is just the energy you put in. Yeah, just a really quite straightforward, simple machine. I've seen quite a few people using these out and about when I've been travelling, going to different customers' gardens. And I think in this age where people are thinking about sort of emissions and petrol and the environment, all that kind of thing, something like this is, as I say, really the ultimate sort of green machine.